Hey guys, Jim here again to bring you guys an MMA fight prediction video. This time I'm covering the UFC 180's main event that features the heavyweight title on the line when the current reigning and defending UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez makes his long-awaited return to the octagon to defend his heavyweight championship for the third time against his toughest test on the ground yet in Jiu-Jitsu ace and #1 contender Fabricio Werdum, in what should be an absolute epic fight between two of the best heavyweights in the world today. I will give you guys a backstory to this fight, as well as a full fight breakdown of the two fighters and who have ultimately winning and walking out of Mexico as the UFC heavyweight champion when it's all said and done. Now, without further ado, let's get this thing started right about now. Velasquez, Werdum. Here we go. Since running through Junior Dos Santos at UFC 155 to reclaim his UFC heavyweight title, Cain Velasquez has gone on to defend his championship 2 successful times. Last year, when he crushed Antonio Bigfoot Silva for the second time with much improved boxing, knocked him down with that right hand, transition, got the follow-through punches, and finished it off via KO in the very first round. After that, he would face off against Junior Dos Santos for the third time at UFC 166 in their trilogy fight to settle the score once and for all and leave no question to whom the better fighter really is between the two, because Junior was able to knock out injured Cain Velasquez the first time out of UFC on Fox 1, and Cain followed that back up by dismantling an overtrained Junior Dos Santos. Nonetheless, once the fight took place, Cain Velasquez proved without a shadow of a doubt that Junior Dos Santos, simply put, is no match for him. No matter if he's, functioning all cylinders or not, he's simply put not good enough to beat him. That's what he proved. Because he controlled him and beat him up for another 5 rounds. Until he finished him in the 5th. And that was an actual interesting finish because Junior was able to catch him with a submission, but he was just so worn out and beaten up that he let go, and Cain just went in for the kill, and the ref stopped the fight via TKO in the 5th round. And as a result, Cain Velasquez retained the championship and ended this trilogy 2-1. Moving on to 2014, he was likely to defend his championship early in the year against Fabricio Werdum, who was riding a 3-fight win streak. He clowned Roy Nelson to a unanimous decision. He knocked out Mike Rosal and submitted Antonio Minotauro Rodrigo Nogueira in the 2nd round via armbar. However, Cain couldn't, fight Fabricio because he was injured, so they matched him up with Travis Brown at UFC on Fox 11. And going into it, a lot of people thought that Travis Brown was going to come in there and he was going to knock Fabricio out, just like he did Josh Barnett and Alistair Overeem. And, on paper it looked that way. But at the same time, We all knew if this was going into the deep water, the Travis would sink to the bottom of the ocean. And that's exactly outside of having Fabricio in trouble in the first round early on, Travis had nothing for the guy after that. He got picked apart because Fabricio was able to recover and take him down multiple times in the fight and outstrike him on the feet and injure him. And he showed off some much improved stand-up with that spinning back fist. And he just dominated the guy en route to a clear-cut, unanimous decision in a 5-round main event. With that victory, he was now in line to face Cain Velasquez, as well as coach against him for the Tough Mexico season of The Ultimate Fighter. And after that, they finally meet in their collision course when the UFC makes its first trip to Mexico at UFC 180. Now the question is, who will hit the trifecta in their respective aims in this fight? Is Cain Velasquez going to become the first UFC heavyweight champion to successfully defend his title 3 times in a row? Or will Fabricio Werdum pull off a monstrous upset, claim the UFC heavyweight title, and become the man that defeated 3 of the greatest heavyweights the sport has ever seen in Fedor, Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, and Cain Velasquez? The answer to that question will be coming up next. Now we're breaking down these 2 elite heavyweights. Fabricio Werdum takes the height. He's 6'4". Cain Velasquez is 6'1", so 3 inches difference there. The reach is identical, 77-inch reach. Cardio, Fabricio actually has very good cardio, but it doesn't compare to the cardio freak known as Cain Velasquez. Cain has the best cardio in the UFC today, bar none. Onward to the skills. The striking goes to Cain Velasquez. He has a higher striking output than any UFC heavyweight today. Second of all, he's faster. He has more power. He's knocked out 11 opponents while Fabricio's only knocked out 5 of them. And once he gets into a rhythm to where he's throwing a full volume of strikes at you, whether it be on the feet or on the ground, your entire game plan goes out the window because your will is already broken. Just ask Junior Dos Santos and Bigfoot Silva and Brock Lesnar. When Cain got to those guys, they were broken. Now Fabricio's stand-up game has gotten better and better every time we've seen him in the last 4 fights of his, especially in the Brown fight. His kicks are great. His spinning back fist found his mark every time he hit Brown with that. And his Muay Thai plum with knees on Roy Nelson were razor sharp. And he's got good footwork. But is he going to be able to get that off with Cain backing him up? That's the question. Pressing forward to the wrestling. Wrestling Cain Velasquez. All the way. He's an NCAA division wrestler, and with the absence of Daniel Cormier, he's the best wrestler in the heavyweight division. He's got good takedown defense. The only person who was able to get him down was Brock Lesnar, and outside of that, nobody else has been able to get this guy down. When Cain wants to take you down, he will take you down. And if he doesn't take you down, he's going to stay on you until he drags your ass to the mat. He also possesses excellent top control and positioning. Now, Fabricio Werdum, his wrestling, has improved. I mean, he was able to take Travis down multiple times, as well as Roy Nelson and Bigfoot Silva, but he's not going to be able to take down Cain Velasquez. He just doesn't have the level of skill to do that. But to be honest, he wants Cain to take it to the floor anyway, where he holds a significant advantage because he's a black belt jiu-jitsu world champion who has a much better array of skills on the ground and application than Cain Velasquez, who's a fellow black belt but doesn't have the same level of skill or finishing ratio of Fabricio Werdum. While we've seen him go for submissions on Chuck Congo and Junior Dos Santos, he never was able to lock those in fully and finish those guys. When Fabricio is able to get you into a submission and he's got it locked in tight, it's done. Just like Fedor was done with that triangle, or Minotaur was done with that armbar, or Alistair Overeem was just history when he slapped in that Kimura. So, ground game, Fabricio. Now, as far as their game plans are concerned, for Fabricio Werdum, it's about technical, systematic destruction. So he's got to methodically pick Cain apart and break him down and try to go for a submission and end this fight. First and foremost, all fights start on the feet, so he's got to keep Cain back with jabs and front kicks, then also starting to work down low with some oblique kicks to his knees, try to slow him down and get him off balance. If Cain does have him against the fence, getting ready to do the dirty boxing, he needs to grab that Muay Thai plum immediately and then start to the chin and to the body, and then follow it up with some combinations. In addition to that, he's probably going to try to goad him into taking him down with those low kicks, because eventually, if he kicks him enough, the Cain's starting to feel the shit, he's going to be thinking takedown. As soon as Cain tries to take him down, you're going to try to hook in that guillotine choke and try to choke him out, or when he's going in for a shot, counter it with a Peruvian necktie, and once you got the move locked in good, wrap your legs on top and just squeeze. But if Cain's able to escape that, and he's got to work him from underneath, you know, with shots from the bottom, and when the opportunity presents itself, grab an arm for an arm bar, wrap up your legs around to his throat for a triangle choke or go-go platter, which is my personal recommendation because I think that will work much better than a triangle choke to restrict the breathing of Cain Velasquez and either get him to pass out or tap out. But more or less, if he can't submit him, it's all about getting in and out on him, throwing slick combinations, changing up his footwork, letting him get in close, and making this an infight to win this fight en route to a decision. The strategy for Cain Velasquez goes like this: closing the distance, getting in close on Fabricio, and hitting him with short, compact, crisp shots, and mixing that up with his kicks to the head and to the leg. He's going to cut him off when he tries to cut angles on him. He's going to press him up against the cage, you know, and batter him up with punches and elbows and knees to the body. And when Fabricio is looking to throw that little spinning back fist, he should either press him back up against the cage and batter him up, or he should take him down and drop him on his face and take his back and just start pounding his face in. If Fabricio starts throwing in those low kicks, instead of just going for the straight double or single, he needs to go straight for that ankle pick so that he can, you know, take him down quick, and so Fabricio doesn't have time to bloody slap in that guillotine choke on him. From there, maneuver around his legs, watch out for the up kick, get past his guard, put his knee to his chest, and just start laying in some careful ground and pound and Once you get into a rhythm, start flowing and raining down heavy with those elbows and punches. Wear on them until the ref stops the damn thing. And win this fight via KO. After analyzing everything, I would say this is going to be a very interesting fight. No matter where it goes, whether it's on the feet or whether it's on the ground, it's going to be interesting. But that being said, in the end, I'm going with Cain Velasquez. Because Fabricio Werdum has never faced anybody quite like him before. Somebody whose gas tank that doesn't run out like Travis does or Alistair does. Cain is a cardio freak, man. And once he gets into a rhythm and he starts punishing you, it's game, set, and match just like that. Either he's going to get Fabricio within range and knock his ass out with well-placed big shots like a chopping overhand right off. Or he's going to punish him and bloody his ass up to a unanimous decision. And even if the fight hits the ground, I think Cain has enough jiu-jitsu not to get submitted and basically control the positioning and fuck him up. Prediction for this fight: Cain Velasquez represents for Mexico and retains his UFC heavyweight championship while making history all at the same time and becoming the first UFC heavyweight champion to ever defend his championship 3 times during this monumental event at UFC 180 in front of probably a sold-out, deafening crowd in Mexico. I think the roof is going to blow off the building when Cain gets there and when he walks out with that belt. As far as where these guys go from here, in Cain Velasquez's case, is onward to his 4th title defense against a to-be-named #1 contender in 2015. And for Fabricio Werdum, he's going to dust himself off, work his way back up to another title shot. Anyways, to my fans, I appreciate your support. And to my haters, thank you for tuning in. This will do it for this fight prediction video. I'll see you guys for the next one. Jim, signing off.